The fall of Silver Lake HOA. The roar of heavy machinery shattered the calm of a quiet Saturday morning. A massive bulldozer lunged forward, its steel blade crashing through the last standing wall of a once beautiful house. Splintered wood snapped like brittle bones. Shards of glass glittered in the rising sun before shattering across the debris-strewn ground. Pieces of crushed furniture lay broken and abandoned, their meaning erased. Dust billowed into the air, swirling like smoke from a funeral pyre. It was the last breath of a home that had once been filled with life. A sleek black SUV rolled up slowly, its tires crunching over broken bricks and twisted rebar. The vehicle came to a deliberate stop. After a moment, the driver's side door opened, and a man stepped out. He wore a tailored charcoal suit, crisp and precise. His dark sunglasses reflected the skeletal remains of what had been his house. For a long time, he said nothing. He stood there, jaw clenched, hands slowly curling into fists at his sides. But when he spoke, it was not with the anger that many expected. It was calm. Too calm. Benjamin Riker was not a man known for losing his temper. As a federal agent specializing in high-risk national security operations, he had learned the value of control. His reputation was built on it. But even years of experience hadn't prepared him to come home from an assignment and find his entire life reduced to rubble. They had made a mistake. A colossal, unforgivable mistake. They had demolished the wrong house. And the house they destroyed belonged to Agent Riker. Benjamin had been looking forward to this weekend. After 3 relentless months working on classified operations in D.C., he was desperate for a break. Just a quiet evening, his favorite records spinning on his old turntable, a glass of scotch in hand. He wanted to sleep in his own bed for the first time in weeks. Instead, he found himself staring at a pile of ruins. His home, his personal belongings, his memories, even his classified work documents, all gone, erased from existence. He drew in a slow, deep breath. No emergency notices, no warnings, no eviction orders. He hadn't missed a mortgage payment. His taxes were up to date. He hadn't broken a single neighborhood rule. And yet, here he was. Benjamin didn't panic. He didn't yell. He didn't confront the shell-shocked construction crew still milling around nearby. Instead, he reached into his pocket, pulled out his phone, and made a call. Across town, in an air-conditioned office with a panoramic view of the Silver Lake community, Vincent Hale was enjoying his usual morning ritual. He leaned back in his leather chair, golf club tapping rhythmically against the polished wood floor. A cup of overpriced espresso steamed on his desk. Vincent was president of the Silver Lake Homeowners Association, a position he wielded like a monarch on a throne. Every decision, every policy, every demolition had his signature on it. Another house gone, he thought smugly. Another blight removed from Silver Lake's pristine image. Eyesore eliminated, he whispered to himself, raising his cup in silent toast. A knock at the door interrupted his private celebration. Mr. Hale, his secretary Marissa, peeked in. Her tone was hesitant. Yes. Vincent replied without looking up. There's a man here to see you. Vincent waved his hand dismissively. Send him to the appeals board. If he's upset about a code violation, he can file a complaint like everyone else. Marissa didn't move. Sir, I think you should take this one yourself. Before Vincent could object, the door opened, and Benjamin Riker stepped inside. He had removed his sunglasses, revealing sharp, ice-blue eyes that locked onto Vincent's with surgical precision. A hunter sizing up his prey. I want an explanation, Riker said, his voice unnervingly calm. Vincent barely glanced up. And you are? Benjamin Riker, he replied. The owner of the home your men just bulldozed. Vincent allowed himself a faint smirk. I think you're mistaken. The house that was demolished was listed as abandoned, with multiple violations of HOA policy. We followed protocol. Benjamin said nothing. He reached into his coat and placed a neatly folded document on Vincent's desk. The movement was smooth, controlled, like a man laying down a loaded weapon. Vincent unfolded the document. His expression faltered. It was the title deed to 804 Willow Creek Drive. Benjamin Riker's name was printed clearly on the page. Taxes paid. No outstanding violations. No foreclosure proceedings. For the briefest moment, color drained from Vincent's face. Then he quickly masked it with a dismissive wave. Mistakes happen, he said casually. We can work this out. Benjamin didn't move. Work this out, he repeated slowly. My home is gone. My records, my personal property, my classified case files are gone. I don't think oops covers that. Vincent leaned back, summoning his politician's grin. Mr. Riker, the Silver Lake HOA has the legal authority to demolish properties in violation of community standards. If you believe we acted improperly, you're welcome to submit a formal complaint. Benjamin studied him for a long moment. Then he smiled, just slightly. You have no idea who you just messed with. That evening, at the Silver Lake HOA board meeting, Vincent stood at the head of the long table, basking in the warm glow of self-congratulation. Ladies and gentlemen, he said, Silver Lake is one step closer to perfection. We made a bold choice, and we're all better for it. The board clapped politely, except for one man. Darren Voss, the association's treasurer, shifted uncomfortably in his chair. Vincent, Darren said hesitantly, are we sure that house was abandoned? Vincent didn't miss a beat. The paperwork was clear, he said smoothly. If there's an issue, they can take it up with the appeals board. Darren opened his mouth as if to say more, but then thought better of it. Across town, Benjamin Riker sat in his government office, his attorney sitting across from him. Ben, said Catherine Ellis, flipping through the HOA bylaws. They screwed up, and not just in a civil sense. They destroyed classified federal files. Benjamin nodded. That elevates this to a federal security breach. Catherine closed the file slowly. They're in serious trouble. Serious, Benjamin agreed, adjusting his tie, but not nearly serious enough. The next morning, Vincent was sipping his espresso when Marissa knocked again. It's Riker, she said nervously. Before Vincent could protest, Benjamin strode into the office, calm as ever. He dropped 2 folders on Vincent's desk. The first was a civil lawsuit. The second was a federal investigation notice. Vincent's confidence evaporated as he read. All HOA operations are frozen effective immediately, Benjamin said. That includes demolitions, fines, and fees. Vincent tried to muster a chuckle. You think the FBI is going to care about a homeowners association? Benjamin leaned in. Try me. By the end of the week, the Silver Lake HOA was under full federal investigation. The FBI Financial Crimes Division raided their offices. The IRS froze their accounts. Their legal counsel quit. Their board members panicked. The neighborhood, once oppressed by arbitrary fines and power-hungry board members, began to buzz with hope. Residents gathered outside the HOA building, watching federal agents carry out files and hard drives. One resident turned to Benjamin. You did this. Benjamin smiled faintly. I don't like bullies. As the investigation unfolded, more crimes were exposed. Millions embezzled through fake fees and fines. Illegal foreclosures and property seizures. Offshore accounts hiding HOA funds. Gerald had paid his own mortgage using HOA money. The media descended on Silver Lake. HOA president arrested in massive fraud scandal. Federal agent exposes corrupt HOA. IRS confirms HOA funds used for personal luxury items. Vincent Hale's fall from grace was swift and brutal. Months later, Benjamin stood on the empty lot where his house once stood. But he wasn't rebuilding his home. He was building something bigger. A public park, free for all residents. At its entrance stood a towering LED billboard playing footage of Vincent Hale's arrest on a loop. The former HOA office. Benjamin bought it at auction and turned it into a dog park. The name? Hale's Leash-Free Zone. But the ultimate blow came when Benjamin legally dissolved the Silver Lake HOA. No more fines. No more harassment. No more tyranny. This, Benjamin said at the dedication ceremony, is your Independence Day. The crowd erupted into cheers. 1 week later, Vincent received a package at the rundown apartment he now called home. Inside was a photo of Benjamin standing in front of the new park, smiling. Beneath it, a handwritten note. Next time, read the deed before you bulldoze a house. Vincent's scream of rage echoed through the empty room. But it wasn't over. Vincent's out, Catherine told Benjamin on the phone one evening. House arrest, she added. And he's meeting with investors. Where? Benjamin asked quietly. Looking at new developments, she said. They're calling it Whitman Property Management. Benjamin's gaze darkened. Then I guess I'll pay him another visit. As the screen fades to black, a folder appears on Benjamin's desk. A red stamp. New HOA target. Vincent Hale. And the fight was only beginning.